Shmai GTA chums, we have a brand new car in GTA Online. It's the Coquette D5 and you can purchase it if you fancy it by going to Legendary Motorsport. 1.7 million, it's not that bad a price. It's not HSW or anything exciting. If you want that, then get this. If you're on PC, Hales Works S95 is actually free for PC players, and that's a far more fun car than this to drive, I'll tell you that for nothing. But we're going to talk about the D5. So this is, oddly enough, the Chevrolet C6, not a C5. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a build, and then we're going to take it for a drive and talk about performance a little bit. It's all been upgraded to the max, so we don't need to worry about that. Upgrade wise, you're going to be a little bit disappointed because there's not a lot. So look at that, stock exhaust is the way to go to make it look like the original, so that's very nice. I'll stick with stock, thank you very much. Grill, similarly, the original grill is the one to go with because I mean they're okay, the others, but there's just nothing there that's really exciting. Bonnet, there's a few more options here. That's a funny vented hood, and you got a vented one there. From some of the images, I think there is one. I think that's the one that looks a little bit like one of the, actually a little bit. This vent here is a bit lower down on the image that I found. Obviously, I'm from the UK. I don't know a lot about this car. I know about the C4 off from the A team. That was a good Corvette. So just to be different, we're going to go with this one, the Rally Package, just to put something on it. Right, so liveries. We've got a few liveries. I'll just pop through. None of the A-team liveries if you want to do an A-team build, unfortunately, with the red stripe going around the outside for a white colour. So that's no good. Mirrors, we can go with a secondary. I like the mirrors. They do look nice. They look like the originals, off the original car, I mean. Plate, well, we'll just put it in black just for now. And let's, rear diffuser. I almost don't want to put anything on there. We've got a secondary lipped diffuser. I think a clean build is probably the way to go and go stock. Let's just wang that on. Let's just have a look what's on there. There's some other diffusers and they go a little bit more wild in the aisles, but nothing. That's a good one as well, the secondary utility. We're going to stick with what we've got though, just to get a secondary colour to add something to our customization. Speaking of which, we're going to go for classics because they're free. We've got a bronze in there. I quite like the dew yellow, going to go with that. And then to go with that secondary colour, I don't know. I'm thinking I've got white at the moment, which is good. That goes really well. But what if we go for a blue kind of colour? Can we find a decent blue to really contrast that kind of greeny colour that we've got on it? So have we got any blues in there? We rock down. There we go. We've got some blues in. Surf blue looks alright. Ultra blue is, of course, the Ultra Marathon, the ultimate. It could be a little bit garish to some. I'm sure this build will not be ideal. I've been doing a lot of Elite Dangerous, so obviously I want to do something crazy right now to compare with the current content in Elite Dangerous. Skirts. So secondary bar, I think, is probably the way. I don't know what's in there, if there's anything better. I'm just going to roll through it. I'm assuming it's got a few different bits and pieces, but I think that's fine. We're going to go for something cheap to save money on what is quite an expensive car for what you get. Splitters, again, we got the secondary lip, is looking good, and we got some other bits and pieces if you want to go for something a bit more exciting. But I think that's exciting enough with the colours we've used. Spoiler, you don't necessarily need one, and I think it ruins the cleanness to the build if I put a spoiler on it. But also I want that traction bonus, which is kind of... I think the blue is a bit too much, so it's probably going to be a plastic ducktail. I hate putting plastic things on, just so we don't have too much blue. I want a body coloured one so it's invisible, but there's nothing there. And they all look a little bit too wild in the aisles, to be quite honest. Don't do it for me. Suspension, we're going to lower it to the max for performance reasons. And transmission is all done, so we don't need to worry about that. Wheels, now if you want something that looks a little bit like the original, the stock wheels, I think they look like, I googled a D5, they look like a D5 wheels. Is a D5 even a thing? I don't even know. That's how much I know about modern Corvettes. But the diamond cut to me looks amazing, and there is some that look similar, not quite the diamond cut at all, but with a 5-spoke. Seems to be the 5 spokes are the way to go. But colour wise, black will do. I don't think we're going to do anything too crazy there. Tyre enhancements, you want the bulletproofs, tyre smoke. I'll just put black on. I could put the blue on yet again to go with that kind of crazy blue, kind of yellow look I've gone. With the tint, I'm going to go with a light smoke. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, why I've gone for that. You could go black as well, because you don't want to go back once you go there. Yes, good. Okay, exit. Not a lot of customization, a bit disappointed on the customization. The lights, are they like the original? They're a little bit, but they're a bit off-centre. Like that smaller inside light, it doesn't quite look like the original. So, kind of, it's good enough for me. I'm happy enough because I'm ignorant of the Corvette C6. But for if you want the ultimate Corvette C6 build, this might disappoint you a little bit from the backside, especially because you're going to see that the front end, the lights are similar, but they don't quite have that body coloured ness to it. They're silver, so you need some more headlight options there. But is it alright as a car to drive? I mean, it's alright. It's not the fastest in the world. To me, it's a bit less enjoyable. I've been driving all these crazy, oh get out of my way man, all these crazy HSW cars, which are just an amazing kind of speed, and they're so twitchy on the corners. That to me, on the corners, the problem I've got with it, and I suppose maybe it drives like the original, I don't know what the performance of that is. There's a bit of understeer. It's not unmanageable, it's not the worst, but it's just enough to do with combined with the lack of speed for 1.7 million cars. It just doesn't really do it for me. So my kind of conclusions on it are basically that if you love the Corvette and you want it for your Corvette garage, I don't think you will be disappointed. But there is something that's disappointing to me. Look at that back. Look at the back parcel. It's not even got a parcel shelf. The material. The front end is alright. That's doable. But there's just a few little disappointing bits and pieces. But overall, it's a good car. An average car. I shouldn't say good. I don't think it is good. I think it's average. So that's why I'm a little bit disappointed with it. It's not going to bring me suddenly back to reviewing loads of car videos if that's what they wanted to do. I do like the detail on this side handle. Look at that. Look at the way he doesn't grab for it as well. He grabs it with his left hand, so he scrapes along the front and somehow opens the car. That's a bit of a weird one. Don't expect Rockstar to fix that, by the way, because obviously, you've got so many cars, so many car handles, so many different mechanics. I couldn't expect my character to know where the handle is. That's just a little thing that I found amusing. So that is the Coquette D5. Coquette D5, the C6 Corvette. If you fancy that, if you want to buy it, it's not the worst price in the world, but it's also not going to blow your socks off with regards to performance. So I hope you found this video useful. I've got another video coming out, and we can talk about the new aircraft hangar that isn't a hangar to store your own planes in. We can talk about that at some point as well, because is that worth it? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and sticking with me to the bitter end. For that, Diolch yn fawr. Have a great day and a great excellent weekend. Thank you very much.